Hey Guru Nation, welcome back to another episode of the Clinical Trials Guru. My name is Dan Sfera. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, make sure you tell a friend, tell a loved one, anyone who's interested in clinical research should share, okay? I appreciate that. So, today's video, actually, I did a 30-minute podcast, two 30-minute podcasts on this topic of virtual trials. And for those that don't understand what a virtual trial is, let me explain. So, with this thing, my iPhone, okay, and then Google's doing their own thing, but I'm just going to talk about the iPhone right now. Sponsors are able to create apps. Apple created this platform for the iPhone called ResearchKit. And ResearchKit is not something that you or I have access to, but if you want to sponsor a study and collect data on a large number of study participants, both patients, people with a medical condition, or control groups like healthy volunteers, they can download these apps and they can join a study virtually through their phone without ever having to go to a clinic. So to learn more about that, just go to my podcast, Random Musings of the Clinical Trials Guru. I did 2 episodes on this topic, I believe episode 42 and 43. So I'm not going to get into too much of like the concept behind it, but I just want you to understand. So Google's following suit actually also, and this is what I did a podcast on as well. I discussed how Apple and Google are both trying to build platforms for sponsors to create these virtual trials, and they're simple trials. They're observational trials, so the people who enroll, which could be anybody in the world, they don't take any medication, per se. Like, they'll record what medications they're taking, but they're not given anything. So it's not an interventional study, it's an observational study. But they collect data. So I actually enrolled myself in one of these studies as the control group. So it's a Parkinson's app called Empower. So what I did, I didn't specifically go out looking for Empower. All I did was I opened my app store on my iPhone and I typed in ResearchKit, thinking that it's something I could download. Well, there was no ResearchKit. I learned later that that's for the sponsors to create these studies, to create apps. But the first result that came up was Empower. So I downloaded it. They have an online consent form on the app. They have a quiz. And then when you join the study, they do surveys, they do different assessments, because it's an app for Parkinson's patients to compare Parkinson's patients to healthy normal people or people without Parkinson's. So anyone can join. I joined as a control group, someone who doesn't have Parkinson's. But of course there are many people with Parkinson's that are being referred to this app by their doctors. And they're tracking things such as their memory. They're tracking things such as their ability to hit buttons. So they have like mini games in the study. They're tracking things like their ability to say ah into the phone microphone for 10 seconds. That measures, I think, voice fluctuations, because that's an issue with people with Parkinson's. So it tracks a lot of things, not to mention how many steps you take, your activity. If you're wearing a watch, it integrates with the Apple Watch or with the Fitbit. So it's actually like very interesting to think about these things long term. There's a lot of long term potential with these kind of virtual trials, because as these devices get better and as these phones get more capable of doing different things like ECG, Google's working on a watch where they can measure your ECG. Okay, so then you can imagine the applications that are going to come with clinical trials. But the purpose of this video is, if you're a research professional, if you're a research site owner, if you're someone trying to become a study coordinator, if you're someone trying to become a CRA, download this app, okay? If I'm someone who wants to be a CRA or I'm someone who wants to be a study coordinator and I have no prior experience in clinical research, I'm going to download this app, I'm going to enroll myself in the study. By doing that, first of all, I get to see what an informed consent looks like, albeit it's done on an app, but the informed consent, when you get it, you'll get it emailed to you, looks exactly like the informed consents we use here. They're IRB approved, they have a sponsor, they have a PI, they have an address, they have emergency contacts, they have risks, benefits. You're going to learn all this stuff. If you've never been exposed to this, this is a free way to do it. So if you're thinking of becoming a CRA, thinking of becoming a study coordinator, thinking of getting involved in this industry, even if you're someone thinking to open your own site, download this app because you get to participate in a study. You can be the control group, or just go in the App Store and look up ResearchKit and look at all the different study apps that they have. Enroll yourself in one of them and then learn the informed consent process. They actually even have a quiz after you read the informed consent to demonstrate that you understood what you read. This is something you can then incorporate into your SOPs. Or if you're a future CRA or future study coordinator, you understand the process of consent and you understand the importance of a patient or a study participant understanding the risks, benefits, and everything that's involved with the study. And you get to understand the lingo and the terminology used in this industry. So this is really good. If you're a site owner and you're training a brand new study coordinator who has never participated in clinical research, I would make this mandatory for them. As a matter of fact, for all new hires that we hire at my clinics, we're going to make them download this app and enroll themselves in the study. Go to Random Musings from the Clinical Trials Guru on iTunes or Stitcher and go check it out. Very interesting stuff, these virtual clinical trials.